Okay, let's continue. We just finished with this, basically, and I guess we can say with this, wherever it is. Now we're here, and this is still in this so-called with block. So in other words, whenever it says dot something, it's really saying this workbook sheet summary dot activate. So what does activate mean? It means activate this sheet. Even if we're not there, activate it. Just to show you how you might understand the code a little, if you don't get it, just make a. So I said that we had activate here, right? And that basically all this is saying is activate this. So let's just make a little very simple subroutine called subacti. I just did it just now, and I'll just run that same code like that. That's what I said it's doing. So let's just run it. Let's start out, because I said what it's supposed to do is activate the summary sheet. Let's click on this, and then see what happens when we run that macro. You can run it from here, I guess. You go to macros, and there it is, acti. Let's run it. So it activates summary. So if I change the code to stats, so it should activate stats, but I forget if stats was capital or not. Yeah, capital. So I should change that to capital. Okay, now if I run it, but first let me go back to here and activate summary, for example. Now, if I run that macro, click up here to run it, and let's see what happened. So now stats is active. Okay, so anyway, that's what that code does. Alright, now, he said, in the prior section titled Identifying Sales, I discussed how some worksheet formulas can be used to decide if a sale of a book occurred by comparing two consecutive rankings of the same book. So let's just go back and remember that. So identifying sales, remember this. He said, how do we translate sales ranking into count of sales? Remember we talked about this issue. He doesn't have count of sales. That's what he really wants, but he doesn't have it. But he does have sales ranking, so he has his little tricks, or his little method for guessing at how many sales. What was it? Do you remember? He basically he bases it on percent of sales over a certain time, I think it was. Remember he said, let's see, the ranking went 15 minus 13, yeah, so that's percentage. So it changed by 13%. So if the ranking improves by 13%, I guess he says he has one sale. And remember that goes into into here, column J, I think, and, well, all these actually, because these are each are a different book or a different form of the book, like a Kindle form of the book. So here, apparently, the percentage changed by enough. I guess he's setting the percentages. It has to increase by 10% or decrease, whatever it is. And so it must have changed enough because he has a 1 here. So he figures he sold a book at this time. Okay, so we remember that. Okay, so in the prior section titled that, he discussed how some worksheet formulas can be used to decide if a sale, so if some of the formulas, like, I guess it's this formula here, except it doesn't have to be 18 and 19. That's just for that particular time. But anyway, formula like that as I recall, I'm not sure, did we go through all the formulas? Maybe we did actually, didn't we? Maybe we did, yeah. Oh, we did, okay. So anyway, so there are some formulas on the sheet. Now the VBA code selects, copies, and pastes those formulas into the next row. Okay, so he wants to select where is that? Here. So these have these formulas that we just talked about, those formulas like this, or whatever it was. Is it? I forget. But no, this is not it. But anyway, these have these formulas, like I guess the one we were just looking at before. Well, not that one. Like this one, I guess. So, but, you know, so let's say this is the last day that he did this, in the last time, which was December 14th, 2011 at 12:46. So he's going to want to do it 1 hour later. But there's nothing below this line, suppose. So this is the last line. So he's going to have to copy the formula into the next line. Okay? So that's what he's going to do. And he wants to do that automatically. Now the VBA code selects, copies, and pastes those formulas into the next row down. The newly pasted formulas then recalculate based on the differences between the most recent and the now current rankings. So begin by activating the summary worksheet. So that's what this does. I just showed you that that's what it does. Next, select the cells that contain the formula to copy. They are found in the prior row. That is, in the row that precedes next row. Right? Next row is our new row. So the row before that. So how do we identify that row? We say next row minus 1. And we put that into cells, because remember, cells is the collection of all the cells. So we identify next row minus 1 as the previous row. And apparently he wants to put it in column 10. Okay? Where they are now writing the current query data. Select the cells in that row from the 10th column to the 17th. Okay, now this is okay, let's go and look at that on the in the code, because it starts with range, right? So let's find that. So where are we? We are in the with block again, in the same, still in this subroutine. We're in this with block. Activate was that we just talked about. So here's the next line. Okay, so this is still in the with block. So really this isn't just dot range. Again, it's this workbook dot sheets summary dot range. So range will allow you to select a group of cells. And the way that you use a range, the way that they're using it here is like this. By the way, let me make this bigger. You can change this look by going to Tools, Options, and I think it's here. And you can change the size. So I'll make it bigger. And you can do other things here also, but I won't do other things. I'll just do that. Okay, so so if we look at this. Now I didn't know this works, but I guess this dot is also applying to the same this. So I guess that's still saying this workbook.sheet summary dot cells. So I guess that works. I didn't realize you could do that. You could even use this dot within the line. I thought you could only do it at the beginning of the line, but it looks like you can do it within the line. So anyway, so look at this. This is range, and there's a bracket here, so it's taking some arguments. And my question to you is, how many arguments is it taking? How many arguments does it take? And you can answer that. Now you might get confused and say, oh, here's a comma, and here's a comma, and here's a comma, but you have to look a little more carefully than that. So you see that this comma is actually in these brackets, so it's not part of the, it doesn't apply to this bracket. So what applies to this bracket is just one comma. So here and here, these two brackets, just one comma. So how many arguments are there? There are two. So what are they? Here's one of them, and here's the other one. Okay, but anyway, it's two arguments. So the way range works is you put a cell, one way that it works is you put a cell in here, a cell address, like I could put like A4. That would mean the first column and the fourth row, right? A, whatever, this one I could put in A739, that would mean this cell. So you put in the cell address, so to speak, here, and you put in a cell address here as well. So suppose I put in A737, comma, B740. So then the range would be here. That's the range would be here. That's the range we would be talking about. So I said A, so if I put in, so I typed in like this, range A737 into the formula, and then B, what is it, 740, and then close it. That would refer to where? This refers to where? This refers to this range. Sorry, that range. Okay, so that's how you refer to that range. So, in other words, like I said, we are just, there's one comma, so there's two arguments, and that's the beginning of the range and the end of the range. So this must refer to a beginning cell, and this must refer to an ending cell. Just by beginning and ending cell, again, I mean this is the beginning cell, A737, and this is the ending cell, B740. So these must do that. So do they? Well, here we have the dot. So this is still, I think, this workbook.sheet summary dot cells. So we're in the sheet summary, and then cells where? But we know how this works. This is the cells property. It means all the cells in, it's the collection of all the cells in the workbook, I'm sorry, in the worksheet. But now we're specifying a particular one, which is what? Next row minus 1, so it's the previous row, and column 11. So that is a cell address, and this is also a cell address, right? Next row minus 1, same row, but this is cell 19. So we have two cell addresses, so we have indicated a range. So I don't know exactly what range that is, but, and then this selects that range. Okay? So that's what we have up to here. Now I'll stop the video. It's a little weird to stop it right here, but I'm going to stop it here and then come back to the next line after that and also read his discussion.